Film with family. They love the family, they love the movies.
Hello and welcome to Film with Family. I'm Austin.
And I'm Zach.
And we are two cousins who like to talk about movies. And today, if you feel it,
Chase it.
I said if you feel it,
Chase it.
Chase it.
we are talking about Twisters, the new summer blockbuster, the sequel to Twister, singular.
Now plural.
And the sequel to our Twister podcast that we recorded last year.
Yes, with our guest today, Kimberly Boulton.
Hi, everybody.
Glad to have you back.
Not only a sequel to Twister, but a sequel to our episode from last year.
I know. I feel like we just talked about this, and now we're here.
It has been over a year.
It was one of our first episodes. I actually revisited it.
I did too, actually.
It's a great episode, one of our first. And Kim, you actually in that episode brought it to both of our attention that the sequel was going to be coming out this year.
Just days after my 40th birthday. It was quite the birthday present.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Why, thank you.
Happy birthday. I snagged you a ticket. Did you have any trouble with the AMC thing? Because they check IDs or whatever.
Which they don't ever. Like they didn't even look at it. It actually, I scanned just the ticket for Rich and the kids. They didn't even check the other one. They were like, go, move along.
Yeah. That's what I figured would happen.
Yeah, movie theaters are very lax these days. You can just walk in. Nobody checks anything.
Oh, totally. And I worked in one as a teenager, so I know how nobody cares. Nobody
Wait.
cares.
I didn't know this. You worked at a movie theater?
I did. Yeah. Kind of like it was in Pittsburgh when I was in college. It wasn't an AMC, but it was, a chain like that. It was huge. And yeah, I worked in one for a summer. It was awesome. It was one of my favorite jobs.
Do you remember what movies were out that year?
Yeah. Anchorman.
Ooh, a classic.
Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, it was great. You could just sneak in to like clean a theater or check in and then just stay in there and watch like half the movie. It was amazing.
Nice. So Anchorman came out 2004. So that was exactly 20 years ago.
Oh my God, that's horrifying.
Wow. So Kim, how did you feel about it? What was your movie going experience like?
I was super excited. So we were in the IMAX. I went with my 3 kids, my 2 almost teenage girls, and my 10-year-old son and my husband. And I was definitely the most excited in the family. Everybody was excited, but I was very excited. And we ended up kind of running late, like not for the actual movie, but we ended up hanging out with some neighbors. And all of a sudden we were like, we got to go. So I felt,
let's go.
We were
in the truck.
It was like that. It was just like that. I was kind of bummed because on the way it kind of looked stormy. And I was like, oh my God, if it storms right now, I will be so happy. But no, we got in there. My son was actually really freaked out. So last summer, we actually had a tornado in our, like right down the street. One of the first times it's ever happened in our town. We don't have tornado sirens. So it was right before we went to Alaska. It was like the day before.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was really something. Like the whole time we're getting the warnings and I was like, you don't get tornadoes in this part of Colorado. Like you get them out by like the airport and like in northern Colorado. But I was like, it's fine. And then it like the windows started like vroom, 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 like bending. And I'm like, okay, I think we should go in the basement. and it was really bad. It ended up like taking down part of a tree in our front yard. It took out had a lot of damage, and it was like an F0. Like it wasn't even, it was like nothing, but it gave me an idea of the destruction of places that like have really big tornadoes, because even in our town, like all down this main road, all these mature trees were just ripped up like everywhere.
Dang.
Yeah, it was crazy. And like everybody got a new roof. We got a new roof. Our neighbors got a new, like everybody got, it was like a great summer for roofers and
Roofers.
insurance brokers. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was really wild. A big tree branch fell on my mother-in-law's car.
Wow.
All the cars had hail damage. But anyway, it really freaked out the kids. Like it was like they were really scared about it. So since then, especially, I think that they've been a little more sensitive to weather stuff because it was kind of like that can't happen here, and then it did. And so yeah, my
It's
son
kind of
was
your
actually,
dream come true.
well, and I joked, not joked, that like if my children hadn't been home, I totally would have been like probably not making great safe decisions because I would want to
Storm
see it.
chasing.
I don't know if I would have done that, but I definitely feel like I would have been like upstairs seeing what was going on. And I kept waiting for, because our last neighborhood had tornado sirens. So I was like, if there was really a tornado, there would be sirens. Well, it turns out like we do not have them here. So, and there definitely was one, like, blocks away. Like it was
Wow.
really, really close. So yeah, so he was pretty nervous. And so I sat by him. And of course, like as soon as it starts, it's so loud. Like it's like, especially in the IMAX, like it was
Yeah.
awesome. But he was a little overwhelmed with it. But no, I loved it. I loved it. I thought they did a really good job of balancing. Like there were definitely Easter eggs in there from the first one, which I
Tons.
appreciated. But they didn't, like, I felt like it didn't, like, I kept waiting for it to be like Daisy Edgar Jones is Helen Hunt's daughter or like some, and
Yeah.
they didn't take it, that far. There were, so I just, it was exactly what I wanted it to be. It was fun. It was loud. Everybody in it was thoroughly enjoyable. And it was killer special effects and all the things you want in a weather movie and nothing more than that, which is
Yeah.
exactly how it should be. Enough of a story to like keep you engaged, but it didn't go too far.
You weren't disappointed by the lack of Helen Hunt in it?
I really did think that she was going to have a cameo. Like I thought that was like something that I read or something,
Yeah.
but so a little bummed, but I get it. And because was there any returning cast?
Well, there is one guy, I guess. So the guy who's like, you're gonna need aluminum for the barrels or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy who fixes Paxton's truck.
Okay. But that's
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Like
that's
there's
it.
no, so
That's
I
very
get
subtle.
why, like yes, yeah. And Bill Paxton's son's in it.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Mhm.
He's the guy who gets taken out by the tornado when he tries to drive away at the motel.
That's right. That's
He's
right.
the
I
guy who's
didn't
like,
catch
"Hey,
it.
man, we paid
Yeah.
good money for this motel." Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Great
that's
line.
Paxton's son.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
That's fun.
So I
Yeah.
get why, they but I do think it would have been fun even if she was just like somewhere like super quick.
Yeah.
But there was nobody else, so I totally get it. But no, I thought the cast was super fun, and I love all of those actors individually for different reasons. So it was fun to see them all together.
It's another great motley crew, just like in the first one.
Yes.
They call it like a Lega sequel or
Mm,
like a sequel in name only
yeah.
because it's like, yeah, there isn't any direct link to any of the characters. It's just kind of in that universe. And then you have obviously the Dorothy technology and all of that. It feels more like an homage to the original Twister.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that for sure. And the viewpoint is almost flipped. Like you're now with the sciency, flashy.
The Carrie Elwes crew.
Yes, which that one dude looked so much like him. Like for a second, I was like,
with the
is
hat.
that? Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. There were definitely like Daisy Edgar Jones's wardrobe was like 100% Helen Hunt with like the tank top and the cargo pants and the like all of that. Like I was like, oh my god, I love that they did that.
Yeah, some great looks.
Yes,
especially when she's at the rodeo.
Mhm.
It's the exact outfit. And the Dodge
Mhm.
Ram too that Glen Powell Tyler drives is pretty much the same kind of model as the one that Paxton drives in the original.
Right. And a movie theater. They had a movie theater homage, like
Yeah,
with
the
the
movie
like
theater.
the drive-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was fun.
Everybody in the movie theater. Yeah, that's great.
Instead of cows, it's chickens. That's kind
Mm.
of
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought
Yes.
that was a little weak though. It's
yeah,
like
that's a downgrade for sure.
it's a
Yes.
big downgrade. Like just the chicken just like landing on top of the hood. It's like
Yes.
that's
Not
not
the
a
same.
good replacement for the cow.
Yes. But I'm glad they didn't redo the cow thing. Like I'm glad they didn't try and, you know what I mean? Like do that
Yeah.
same bit
Yeah, they're not
over
trying
again.
to repeat anything exactly. They're doing a twist on everything. A twist.
Yeah, a twist with a
I,
twist.
I I would have expected at least though to see one of those horses flying around
Mm.
during the rodeo
Or a
Oh, that would
bull.
have been cool.
or a bull. Yeah, like
Yeah.
could have done at least that, but
Yeah.
it's okay. It was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, this movie feels more grounded, I'd say, than the original Twister. I
Yes.
don't know, in terms of its story and not trying to be as cheesy or goofy. I feel like the original Twister felt a little more goofy to me
Yeah.
and having
Mm,
more campy fun. This movie
mm,
Yes.
didn't feel as fun to me, but
Yes.
mm.
I still had a pretty good time, but I wouldn't say I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, talk about your experience, Zach.
Well, I saw it a few days ago with my sister Jasmine, who you
Nice.
will was recently on for the Furiosa episode, and her friend Folk was in town, so the three of us went together, and we
Hmm.
saw it at the Cinemark in Ypsilanti in IMAX. Had great seats, so yeah,
Nice.
it was a good movie experience. So it's good to see it in IMAX. We didn't do D box or anything like that, even though it seems like this would be a good movie for that, with get shaken around and all that.
Yeah,
But
I thought about that because we have one of those at the movie theater we went to too, and I was like, that would have been
Mm,
kind of fun. That would have been
mhm.
fun too. Was
yeah,
your theater packed?
it was a well attended. I wouldn't
Yeah,
say it was packed,
yeah. Ours
but
was like every seat taken, like every
Wow.
single one. Yeah, yeah.
I
wow.
went to a really early screening, so it was just me and like I want to say like maybe 10 or 20 other people
Oh
in a
wow.
giant
Okay.
IMAX theater. So
Yeah.
they weren't skimping on the twisters on this one. A lot of tornado action going on.
Yes, and I appreciated that very much.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
yeah. I forgot to count how many twisters there are. I would have liked to count exactly how many they get to,
Yeah.
I want
but
to say there's like 5 or 6 because
not counting the twins.
well, yeah, I think that counts as one.
Yep.
I
Yep.
think counting as two is it's twins.
All right,
Twins.
fine.
We got twins.
We got twins.
Fire tornado. You got a good fire tornado in there. That's always fun.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was great.
Yep.
But that first scene is very harrowing. I
Mhm.
thought they did a really good job of kind of keeping you on your toes in that first one. I would say much more traumatic even than the first one. Even though, like, obviously Helen Hunt's father gets swept up in a tornado in the first one, but this one is like all of her friends die and
I
her
know.
Yeah.
boyfriend gets like ripped off her back.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. And very much following suit in the first one where it's like it opens with yeah, this is why she's so messed up.
Mhm.
And we'll never go tornado chasing again.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite scene of the movie, honestly. I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
that scene
Yeah.
was
Great
incredible.
opening. Yeah.
And I love how they just drop you right in with all these characters and they're having fun at the beginning. It's like has such great young optimism.
Yeah.
They're like,
Mhm.
yay, we're gonna do this. This is so fun. They're like filming
Yes.
each other and like making jokes about diapers and stuff.
Yep. Yep.
And then it just like eases you into like, oh, this is a little too much than they bargained for, and then like the debris flying around, and then that gash that she gets on her leg is really visceral. I don't
Mm,
know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I wish they would have gone into her friend that she ends up working with later. I wish they would have like gone into a little bit like what happened to him. Like, cause he just got sucked
Oh.
up in the tornado and then he was like, but I'm alive. So I would have
Yeah.
loved just a little background.
Yeah, I was a little
Wait,
confused there too.
wait,
dude.
you're talking about Anthony Ramos, the
Mhm.
Javi guy?
Hmm.
Mhm.
He's in
Yeah.
a separate truck.
Oh,
The
oh, that's
boyfriend
right.
and like the other two friends
That's right.
get
He's
sucked
not
up.
the one that gets sucked
He's
up.
outside
Okay,
of it. Yeah, like he's tracking them
that's
from
right.
a separate
That's right. Okay,
vehicle.
that makes
Yeah.
more sense because I was like, for some reason, I thought I put him with
Hmm.
the first guy that gets sucked up, and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's no way he would live. Okay, much
Yeah.
clearer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a little confused too because I thought maybe the guy that comes back was her old boyfriend for a while. I was like, oh, this will
Mm,
be a good love triangle thing,
Yeah.
mm.
but that's not what happened. But they look kind of similar, so I don't know. And you
Yeah.
don't spend very much time with them,
Yes.
so I feel like I wasn't too hard on myself for being confused there.
Mhm.
It's
And he
okay.
also talks about not wearing pants, so it's like that seems like something an ex-boyfriend would say.
True.
I did love how Kate, like how much they distinguish her like before the tornado and after the tornado.
Mhm.
Like before she's like all bubbly and like, oh my God, we're just studying tornadoes. And then she's like grave faced, like on the
Yes.
train, like I'm a
Yes.
hardened
Yes.
meteorologist
I've
now.
seen some things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love when she's like, "I'm not back. I'm not back," which is exactly what. Yeah, that was like a cute little Easter egg.
Yeah, nod to Bill Paxton. I'm not back.
Man, Joe's gonna wig when she sees he's back. I'm not back.
The prodigal son returned.
Hey, welcome back, Bill.
I'm not back.
I'm not back!
I forgot about that. That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
But I thought it was funny how their Dorothy canister was Dorothy 5. And in the original Twisters, they have 4 Dorothys.
Uh-huh.
So it's like 30 years pass and they only made
Yes.
one more
One more.
Dorothy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
Well, especially because the first one ends with it works, right? Like they
Mhm.
finally, so then there's a bit of a lag of like, well, what did you do with that? What happened with that technology?
It's like we'll just put it on hold for 30 years and just wait for some kids to play
Yeah.
around with it.
Yeah. Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton went off, had a couple of kids, settled down in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little weird. I did catch that.
Yeah, I think that the reason Helen Hunt isn't a part of this movie, though, is because she actually tried to adapt the sequel with another Hamilton person, David Diggs.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
David
really?
Diggs. Yeah. And she wrote basically a sequel to it in 2020, and she wanted it to be like all black and brown meteorologists or like storm chasers, like from a historically black college. And Helen Hunt wanted to be in it and direct it, and they passed on it. So I
Oh,
think she was a little
dang.
salty about
Sure.
that. Yeah.
Sure. Oh, I didn't know that. That would have been
Yeah.
really cool too.
I want to see Helen Hunt's version. Let's see what she does.
No, right?
Give her a
That
pass
would,
at it.
yeah, that would be super fun.
Well, didn't Paxton want to direct a sequel too? I feel like both of them wanted to do sequels.
Yeah, I feel like I read something that like right away, like right after that first one, he gunned really hard to keep it going. And yeah, it's just such a shame that by the time it came, and yeah, and they make sequels to everything. Like it is weird that they didn't, ride that wave for as long as they could.
I guess they weren't feeling it.
They weren't feeling it, just not feeling it.
There might be more coming because this movie seemed like it's doing well at the box office.
Yeah, I
It's
read
doing
it's doing
great.
really well. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
hit, better than they expected. So could be
Yeah.
more twisters in the future. You never know.
Yes.
Yeah, as of this record, we're on the Sunday of its weekend release, and it's projected to make over $80 million, which is, I think, like 60% better than they expected.
Wow.
So the one big question I have for you, Kim, is did you get your magnet?
So they gave us like 3. So my son put one on my car.
Yes.
We have one in the kitchen, and we have one attached to Oscar's leopard gecko enclosure. So we are representing it very, very well.
I was shocked at how big this magnet was.
I know, so was I. I was expecting like this. I was like, oh,
It's
okay.
as big as my face.
We're good.
Well, is it meant to be put on your car kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like a little decal that you can magnetize to pretty much anything.
It's the AMC exclusive.
Yeah, it was like if you go to IMAX at AMC in the first 2 days to see Twisters, you get this big ass
This
Twisters
giant.
decal. I walked up and I was like, "So, do you have any promotional materials? I heard there's a magnet." And he was like, "Oh yeah, are you asking for this?" Like pulled it up, and I was like,
This
"Wow."
giant. I
Made a
know.
little
I had
show
the
of it.
exact same thought. I was like, this is a big magnet. This is not a just a little microwave magnet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, we have several floating around.
How do we feel about Glen Powell?
I love him.
He's
I love him.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
I love
so
him.
good.
He's so good. And he's in everything now. Like I feel like
know.
he's everywhere.
He's having a moment. He was in Anyone But You,
Mhm.
Hitman, of course.
We talked about that a little bit. And Jasmine reminded me that he was in Top Gun Maverick, which I totally
Right.
Oh, right.
forgot that he's in there.
Yeah, I think he's great. And I love how they set up his character too. If you've seen the trailer, he, rides into town. He's this tornado wrangler who
Cowboy hat.
He's got a cowboy hat on. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got his band of merry men, just like in Twister.
Yeah, he's a showman.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no character that was really like that in the original Twister, which is fun.
Well, yeah, and recognizes that to get money for all this stuff, he's got to capitalize on this whole tourism part of it with like the tornado tourists. That cracked me up. Like it's so weird.
All the people in the ponchos, like with their
Yes,
little DSLR
yes.
cameras.
Yes, I was like, wow, that would be really weird.
That seems like something you'll do at some point, Kim.
I don't know. I don't know if I feel like in order to storm chase at all, I would need to be with someone that I have like a personal connection to that I would trust literally with my life. Some random tour guide I don't think would cut it for me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, how much training did this guy have?
I feel like Rich could do it. Rich could do anything.
Rich could totally do it.
He'll
We
like
had
read a Wikipedia article. He's like, I get it. Yeah,
I got this. I understand how this
I'm
works.
gonna install some corkscrews on the bottom of the truck, and let's just drive into the center of this thing.
Totally. We sat out on the front porch late last night because we had this huge storm, like our first really big thunderstorm of the summer that we've been in town for. And
Nice.
Rich was like, do you wanna go out and drive around? Like probably shouldn't. I mean, yes.
Yeah, we actually had a few tornadoes touch down in Chicago this week.
I
heard
heard
about that.
Yeah, that's
Chicagoland.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I heard that there were there's been a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, I really like that they twisted the yeah. Oh yeah, the hand gestures. I love the hand gestures. The little finger twirl.
I know.
And the handshake where they're like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, that sold me on the movie and the trailer when Daisy Edgar Jones does the little hand gesture in the trailer. It's like, this movie's gonna be good.
Yeah, we're in. I'm all in.
But yeah, I totally clocked their little handshake where it's like a 2-finger handshake, and then they do the little twist at the end. When I was watching Twister, they do that handshake in Twister.
Really?
So you just rewatched Twister a couple days ago or something?
I watched it last night. I only watched half of it, but I was just like wanting to get a little refresher on it, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, Glen Powell is great in this for sure. One of my complaints is that the whole romance between him and Daisy Edgar Jones, it felt like it was a little shallow. I wanted more. They don't even kiss. It's like, what is this?
They don't have the epic kiss at the end.
Oh, is this like a G-rated movie? What is this bullshit? They should have been kissing half hour ago. They should have been having sex by now. What are they doing? These two hot people aren't even like
doing the horizontal twist.
Yeah, that felt a little weak to me, honestly.
Yeah, I did think it was weird that it wasn't, even at the end when they're like at the airport or whatever, a little.
Yeah, he just kind of like takes her bag and walks away. It's like, no kiss.
Yeah, nothing.
It's like, this is a weak ending.
I know.
But I do love that he does the drill down in the parking lot with Paul Scheer there. That's pretty good.
Yes.
But I did think they had good chemistry with each other. I just wanted to see a little bit more sparks flying, a little bit more romance. I think
I know
it could have been good.
Yeah.
I agree. And I liked the two of them together. Like I thought it would have been a fun, fun thing.
Man, when they shot those fireworks into the tornado, I was like, this rules. This is so
That was
fucking
fun.
cool.
That was fun. I was like,
that was a
"Ooh,
highlight.
good
for
idea."
sure.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, let's just have fun with it.
Yeah, and
We're
I
just
like that. I like the girl that's like the drone operator girl on
I
the
love
YouTube
her.
Like that
She,
makes a lot of sense for a YouTube channel that they'd be like, oh, there's the drone person doing that part
Mhm.
of it.
I love that actress too from American Honey. I forget her name. I
Yeah.
love her though. Yeah.
Also, How to Blow Up a Pipeline, one of Austin's favorites.
Yeah, and it's sort of a
Ah,
similar vibe too.
Yeah, I
Like,
love. Yeah, the Glen Powell's crew is great, which is how I knew that they weren't going to be bad guys just because his crew is so diverse and like these guys are
yeah.
cool. It's like
Yeah.
mhm.
you're trying to like make it seem like they're obnoxious, but like you can just tell right away that these guys are more fun and they're cool.
Yeah. That's who
Yeah.
you want to be with. Yeah.
Yeah, but I did expect them to kind of, I don't know, like kind of mess with their scientific research. Like they were trying to do something that was like for the good of, science and to examine tornadoes. And these guys are just gonna get in there and shoot off fireworks and mess everything up. But
Yeah.
Well, they almost drive him off the road early on. It's like
yes,
that's
Yeah.
dangerous.
which again, a nod to the first one.
Uh-huh.
And when they
Mhm.
cut through the brush and then they like almost hit Carrie Ellis.
Yep.
So the whole disrupting the tornado, I read there was actually a New York Times article that came out that was like totally impossible. You would need like
Right.
way, way, way more tons of that
Right.
chemical.
But theoretically, it could work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen so many different articles, and some are like praising it for, more of the science being correct than the first
Mm.
one. And then I've
Mm.
seen the polar opposite where it was like, this is a insult to,
To tornadoes.
yeah, and so yeah, I've seen both sides, but I do know that they had like a somebody on staff that was like this was their jam and was like fact checking stuff. So obviously not, that part of it was definitely a stretch, but yeah,
Mhm.
it's weird. I've seen like both sides of that coin.
Yeah. But it was reminding me, do you guys remember during the Trump presidency when he said that he could like nuke a hurricane? I was like, kind of like, this seems like the same kind of logic. Like,
Yes.
let's just drop a
Yes.
bomb on
Yes, yes.
a weather
Yeah.
event to stop it.
But it'll be fine. It'll just
Like,
go away.
we got rockets. We're gonna shoot this iodide into the thing. I was like, this is feeling kind of Trumpy to me.
Yeah,
But,
a little Trumpy.
yeah, but there were so many parts that were cracking me up. Like in the very beginning, in that first scene, when she like turns to her friend and she's like, "You're just not the same after you were struck by lightning."
I
Like,
forgot.
that's what happens.
Yes, you're not the same.
Which again, I think is a little bit of a nod to that one really quick moment when they're at Aunt Meg's and he's like, "I'd like to be struck by lightning just to check it
Yes.
out," like or whatever.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
there's also the bit of or the mom talking about Daisy Edgar Jones like running out naked or something, and then wasn't there
Yeah.
something about like Bill Paxton being naked in a storm or something? in
Yes.
This one.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he
Yeah.
throws
Oh,
the
yeah,
Jack
that was a
Daniels
good one.
bottle at the tornado.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yes.
Yeah. Storm and nudity. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a suck zone reference as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I caught that.
Yeah, it's in like a chaotic scene, so
Mhm.
you kind of like hear. I
Mhm.
forget who says it, but yeah, no, one of the crew definitely is like yells something out about the suck zone like in the background, and I was like, there it is, there
There
it
it
is.
is, the suck zone. The other thing that really cracked me up was when they go to the tornado damaged town and you just see like Daisy Edgar Jones like hand this woman like a photo album, and then the guy's
Yes.
like Javi like hands her a business card and he's like, anything we can do to help. It's like, what are you guys gonna do? You're
Yeah.
fucking scientists.
Yeah, I
What do you-
didn't love the Javi character. He was just kind of a wet blanket, but not in a fun way, in my
Mm,
opinion. He was just like
mhm.
boring. And
Yeah.
like there's like it seemed like they're trying to build up a thread of like he's like has a crush on Kate, Daisy Edgar Jones's character, but
Mhm.
like it doesn't really manifest into anything. So I was like why is this guy even here? I mean, I guess he's the reason he pulls her back in, but
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. His presence just felt like kind of a waste to me. It's like, I don't know, kind of
Yeah,
boring.
I feel like they could have done more with it, and I love that actor too. So I feel like that could have been a bit. I think he
Yeah.
was trying to throw more like brother vibes with her, but I agree that it kind of
I felt like a wasted opportunity or something
Yes,
for a love
agreed.
triangle kind of thing, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know.
yeah, something.
That's fair.
I'm always trying to wedge in a love triangle. If I can.
I do love a good love triangle. I do.
Well, there is a triangulation of the scanning of the tornado. There's a little bit of a triangle there.
Oh yeah, Tin Man
bit,
and
little bit.
what are the other Wizard of Oz references?
So
Oh, yeah.
there's Wizard, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
And if you noticed, Daisy Edgar Jones, who's scared, is in the Cowardly Lion truck.
Oh, I did not catch
Wow. This movie's deeper than I thought.
that. This goes really deep.
I was like, oh, that makes sense. Because she does have that little panic attack and can't do the scanning, which I loved the technology of that scanner, like the way they like bolted in. They're like, let's go.
A lot better than all the little
The
glass
Dorothy balls.
Throw it, getting up there. But yeah, I'd be having a panic attack too. I'm pretty sure if I watched my friends and boyfriend
Yeah.
I'd live in the most like non-stormy place for the rest of my life and never talk
Yeah.
about weather ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of annoying that Javi's like, it's like, yeah, you could lead this. It's like she's been out of the game for 5 years, and the last
Yeah.
thing she did was a horrible disaster that was traumatic. It's like,
Yeah.
don't
You're
let
the
her take
perfect
the reins
person.
on this. She's like not ready to do this.
Yes,
I
but
don't
it's her
know. That was
instincts.
weird.
It's her instincts.
Yeah, she is kind of a weather psychic, but
Yeah.
Yeah. When she like watches the wind move on the wheat. Yeah.
well, then the dandelion too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right,
Yeah, that
right.
The
right.
dandelion move.
Dandelion
Well,
moment.
And that was like the Bill Paxton when he's just standing out and he's like dropping the dirt, and then he's
Yes.
like, we're going
Yes.
green.
We're good. Yes.
Yeah. It was just such a fun time. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a perfect little summer movie. I didn't think it was like mind blowing. It didn't like change
Yeah.
my life, but it was perfect for what it was. I mean, like,
Agreed.
and like I said, they did not skimp on the tornadoes. You got tons of tons of disaster scenes. It's
Yes.
a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I think it's the movie of the summer.
I agree. It was exactly what I wanted it to be. I was glad it wasn't like totally different, but like the disappointment I felt with like Oppenheimer, I was like, where's all the bomb scenes? Like
Yeah.
there's like one and over 3 hours. And I was like, that's
You just want him to keep dropping atomic bombs.
I was like, we're in the IMAX.
Yeah,
I'm
show us
ready
some
for
explosions.
Yeah. And then I was like, it's just talking.
Yeah.
Just
So
talking.
boring.
You don't need to see this in the theater at all. I mean, you do because like it has good sound, but they didn't do that. Lots of twisters.
I did want to see some more crazy kills, or I don't know. I wanted to see a little bit more the murder. I don't know by the hands of a tornado in this. Just
You want complicated relationships. You want
Love
death and
triangle.
murder.
Murder.
I mean, Paxton felt the same way. He was like, we didn't go far enough with the first Twister, and that movie felt more gruesome than this one. Like nobody gets impaled in this one. Nobody's
True.
head gets cut off. I've also
True.
been watching a lot of Final Destination movies lately, so I'm like wired to like want to see like some fucked up kills. And so I was a little disappointed by this movie. It's like it's just people getting swept away. Like I wanted to see some like weird shit happen like that.
Yeah. Or like the I liked the did they have any I'm trying to remember any like inside the tornado visuals like in the first one?
There's that moment when she looks up out the window of the car.
Oh yeah, that is true. That was cool.
But Zach, you evoked Final Destination starring Devon Sawa,
Oh, that's right.
who's also in another Twisters movie, Night of the Twisters.
Night of the Twisters, which
Oh,
I did,
no.
which I didn't watch, unfortunately, but I really need to.
No, you actually don't.
You don't. Not
It's
missing
a
anything.
Family Channel made-for-TV movie from the same year as Twister.
In Blainsworth, Nebraska, the days are long, the people are friendly, and the weather is... Twister! Extreme. It's a night that a few will not survive.
The storm is a monster.
And none will forget.
It's here! Can you see it? It's here!
John Schneider, Night of the Twisters, tomorrow night at 8/7 Central on Fox Family Channel.
It's on YouTube. I don't know. It's just worth it for seeing Devon Sawa play harmonica. There are all these scenes of him and his friend.
No more.
His friend is from Billy Madison. He's like the high school, like Adam Sandler's high school buddy.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't realize that Devon Sawa was Canadian. So there you go. That was my big takeaway from Night of the Twisters.
Canadian.
Like,
Who knew?
Devon Sawa's Canadian.
How I missed this is unbelievable to me because I was like, so it came out in 96. So I was 12 and loved him. Like he was like my crush with pictures on the wall from like
really
magazine. Oh yeah. So how I missed his connection to the tornadoes is beyond me.
One thing I'll say about Twisters, I think the cast is great. I mean, we already kind of talked about it a little bit, but I really like Daisy Edgar Jones as the lead. I think she does a great job, and she's a real cutie pie. I think.
Yep. I love her. I love her in everything I've seen.
Yeah, and she's British, but I think she pulled off the Oklahoman kind of accent pretty well.
She did.
I didn't clock it at all.
Yep.
Felt very natural.
Yep.
Yeah, she's a great fit for this movie. Just like a lot of seeing familiar faces similar to the original Twister, like guys that you'd only like see in like a couple other things, but it's kind of fun to see them pop up again, like Brandon Perea from Nope.
Oh yeah,
he's the guy that goes twins.
Yes,
and then we got more Tyranny from Liar Liar and the Iron Claw as the mother.
Yeah, I loved her and her her glasses and the gloves, like when she's in the barn.
She's such a badass.
She's such a badass. Yeah,
I love her. She's another one that everything I see her in, or if she's in something, I'm like, I'm automatically in.
Yeah.
And you got Tunde. He's from the band TV on the Radio, who's part of Glen Powell's crew, and that's kind of fun. And also Kiernan Shipka, who's the daughter of Don Draper in Mad Men. She's at the very beginning of the movie with the glasses who gets swept away.
Right.
I liked her vibe.
And she was just in Longlegs too.
Yeah, I'm going to see that right after this. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, man.
Also, Katie O'Brien's in this from Love Lies Bleeding, which came out this year. And I don't know, it's just fun to see these people.
Yeah.
Love the cast.
I feel like the cast was great. I don't have any complaints there. Though it does feel a little weird to me. They were like, I don't know, the way that Glen Powell's character is presented. He's like so like modern country star vibe. And like his crew is like just like so diverse, and like I don't know, the Katie O'Brien character feels like she's like non-binary or something. I don't know, it just feels too diverse for like, it feels like he would be hanging out with a bunch of other white dudes.
That's a twist for you.
There's a twist. There's a twist.
He's friends to all sorts of folks.
He is.
But I also
many layers.
Another complaint I have about this movie is I really disliked a lot of the country songs that they play in it.
That was a huge thing. Like that soundtrack was a huge thing.
A lot of modern country bullshit that sucked. Like Luke Combs modern country garbage. Then they just like keep playing it over and over. It's like, all right, the first couple times it's fine to introduce Glen Powell's character. That makes sense, but it just kept happening. And I was like, this is really dampening my vibe over the time.
yeah, that was definitely a choice.
Let's watch Tyler pull up with his country music.
Oh, yeah.
That's a nod. Hey, speakers on top.
Oh, yeah.
Live on YouTube. Say something.
Whoa, me, boom. Don't engage.
Hey, smile, man. Science is fun, right?
What's up, boo?
Who are they?
Chasers out of Arkansas.
Hillbillies with a YouTube channel.
Hey, T, tell the folks how you feeling.
I'm feeling pretty good, Boone. And if you feel it, I said if you feel it, stay safe. Oh, it's a beautiful
Oh my God. So fun.
It's
Yeah.
that's fun. You got to admit that's just good.
It's fun, but that's in the beginning of the movie. I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
it
feel
does-
like
it does
the
keep
first
going.
half of the movie is so good, has such great energy, and then I feel like kind of like the rodeo scene in the middle, like after that point, like I feel like it really plateaus, and I don't know. I just lost the juice that it had near the beginning for me. That was my take.
You didn't like the tornado in the movie theater situation?
Nah. It was
Could
okay.
do without it.
I mean, it did remind me of your story that you told on the last podcast of how you were watching Night of the Living Dead during a tornado, and I was like, oh, this is
Yes.
like kind of like what Austin experienced. That's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Well, also that imagery of the screen ripping out and like basically like the damage, the real life damage being like framed in the movie theater, I'm pretty sure is based on this real photo of a tornado that ripped through Kentucky back in 2021. And there's this incredible photo. I'll show you guys.
Whoa.
Like this is a real photo of a movie theater where the screen was ripped
That's
out.
crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah, we'll have to post it to the gram. Zach, you had a little recording that you wanted to play of your initial reactions with you and Jasmine. Should we play that?
Yeah, this could be a new segment because we've kind of done this before. Parking lot reviews.
Oh, I love it.
Where we record a little voice memo directly after seeing the movie.
Let's go to the parking lot.
All right, so we just got out of Twisters. Me, Jasmine, and her friend Folk.
We're here, y'all. We made it. We got twisted.
What do you think, Jasmine?
I thought it was bad. I don't know that there's too much to recommend it, personally. I would say it was worth seeing in IMAX.
Which we did.
We felt the thrill.
We had good seats.
Yep. We felt the vibration.
Well, it wasn't D-Box, it was just regular, but it was
Yeah.
good.
I thought it was gonna be D-Box.
Folk kind of maybe thought it was going to be D-Box. Folk, what did you think of the movie in general? Like, what do you give it out of 10 stars?
Out of 10 stars, I don't know, like a 6.5. I was entertained, but there was no Helen Hunt.
Yeah, she really felt slighted.
Were you hunting for Helen?
Yeah, I was. I thought
The
the whole
whole
premise
time.
was that was her daughter, and she was just following in her mother's footsteps, and somehow they stole Dorothy.
I know.
No, wait, spoiler alert.
It's kind of weird that that wasn't just this super clean thing of like, this is her daughter. It's like, why are you standing on ceremony with like, oh, that would be too clear of a sequel thing to just have it be her daughter. It's like everything else about this is completely derivative and uninteresting. So
Yeah.
like, why don't you just draw the line?
Yeah, give me a little connective tissue here.
They just
Right?
added an S.
And I feel like there should have definitely been more emphasis on multiple tornadoes and storm systems. That happens for like a split second in the movie, and it was a good scene where they had to decide which tornado to follow. But they're
Right.
making it twisters.
What if it had been triplets?
I know, right? Every
Yeah,
single time.
There was
just
twins in the first Twister movie.
Yeah,
I
there
know.
was. Then there was no extra cows
Sisters.
floating around.
well,
Although
Zach,
they did have
Chickens.
chickens.
a chicken.
Which is kind of a downgrade from cows in terms of size.
That's true. They
Zach.
should have brought out like a giraffe because those are indigenous to Oklahoma.
All right,
Buffalo.
what do you think?
I think I prefer Twister.
I don't know that I've ever seen Twister.
Oh, no.
Wow.
I thought maybe you guys started with it so you could be primed.
I don't know that I've seen Twister.
Oh my god, you have to watch Twister.
I've seen Twister a couple times.
Couple times.
I saw Twister in theater. It was my mom's birthday, so we took her to like the Lincoln Park Star and saw Twister. Not on an IMAX. I don't even know if IMAX existed.
I don't think so.
But you're a Twister fan? You like the original?
Yeah.
I am legitimately very scared of extreme weather, so like I'm in the tank for what this movie is trying to do, I'll say. I guess I just don't know that there's a successful escalation of stakes I mean, I guess maybe a little because she's trying to see if her experiment works.
Right. Well, and then there's the Glen Powell of it all. He's really having his moment.
I mean, what do we think about that? Do we think that he is a leading man? Do we find him charming, attractive, a good actor? Like, are we buying into the Glen Powell hype? Is he compelling?
He was in Hitman, which is on Netflix, and it is bad.
Okay. Okay.
But
You like this better than Hitman?
I did like Twisters better than I think his acting's better in Twisters than Hitman. But
More of a consistent performance.
yeah, that one was just kind of like, ooh, like like the idea of too much the whole time.
Yeah, he was trying a little too much paprika on the sandwich or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he was well cast in this movie.
It's his sweet spot.
I just fucking hate the way he looks. God, his face is
chiseled jaw.
His face is too squishy.
The dimply
It's
smile.
it's just like too squishy, and the eyes are too small.
Beady.
They're beady. They're close together. He looks so old. I don't know how old he is in real life, but he looks extremely old, and his girlfriend in it looks very young.
Glen Powell's gonna hear this. So I hope he,
But Bill
ready for
Paxton
debate.
looks really old too, so it's kind of a good 1-to-1 there.
Yeah, I mean that isn't a mark against him. I guess he's like, he's lived several lives. Like he did the rodeo thing, and he's been out in the sun in Oklahoma. He looks like a leather bag.
He's a YouTuber.
He's a YouTuber. You know how those guys are.
they live hard.
Yeah.
But how about the main girl, Daisy Edgar? You like her?
What else has she been in? She has like hints of recollection, but I couldn't.
She was in a Hulu movie called Fresh.
PH?
What?
Was it with a P?
No, it was R-E.
Zach, I need to know what you thought of Glen Powell.
Oh, I thought he was pretty good. I don't know. I was hoping for more steamy romance. I was hoping for some kiss or some fucking, but we didn't get even a kiss.
Like right where when they're in the tornado, just
Yeah,
come on.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Take my virginity.
I do love the truck had a drill on it that it could drill into the ground so it wouldn't get sucked up into the tornado. Although it makes no sense because there's so much debris flying about in a tornado that your windshield and every window and your whole truck would be completely turned to pulp, regardless of whether or not it was physically sucked into the tornado. That's kind of
That's the whole
secondary.
point of the tornado is that it's just a lot of debris and it doesn't matter.
Getting sucked up into it is neither here nor there. It's that there's shit in it that hits you and then you die.
Which they captured well at the beginning of the movie with all the debris flying around.
Yeah. Human debris. But no, the whole time, every time they were drilled in, I was like, are these bulletproof windows?
Obviously they're not.
Spend on this truck.
Look, they drilled in and we loved it.
I was drilled in. You were drilled in.
I was drilling something.
Yeah.
I guess to sign off, we just have to say, if you feel it, chase it.
Oh, yeah.
Not your first tornado.
Tornado.
Yeah. I want that. If it says tornado only.
I'm sure it doesn't.
We'll get a custom order to say tornado.
We gotta know someone who screen prints.
Cut the tape, Zach.
All right, we're signing off. Bye.
Amazing.
God, that was great.
Amazing.
Yeah, my sister didn't like it. She didn't like Furiosa. She didn't like Twisters.
She's a tough nut to crack. But I love how she is always asking the hard questions. What do we think of Glen Powell?
I just hate the way he looks.
He's a rodent man.
I think he's very attractive.
Yeah, I feel like most people think he's good looking.
I think he's handsome, but he is in the rat pack. The rodent men.
You think he looks like a rodent?
Oh yeah.
Really?
There's this great somebody posted a photo from Anyone But You where it's Sydney Sweeney like piggyback carrying Glen Powell, and someone's like, they look like two mice that got to live as humans for one day.
Rat Pack.
No, but do you know about this, Kim? That there's like a
No.
whole thing like around sexy rodent men.
Wow.
So like guys who look like mice. So
Jeremy Allen White,
Yes.
both the guys from Challengers.
Wow.
they kind of have like long noses and beady eyes. They're like the center of their
Yes.
face just kind of looks very like
Oh yeah, Barry Keoghan's part of it too. Yeah,
Barry
Oh, yeah.
Keoghan.
Yes.
the
Yes.
Rat Pack.
And I love all of these men. So this is very illuminating.
Yeah.
You're into the mice men
I guess.
of mice and men.
The mice men.
But I agree. I just kept thinking when they're in the middle of those tornadoes, it's like, yeah, you're screwed down, but there's shit flying everywhere. Like, why aren't like the windows broken? There's not even like a dent in the cars.
Yeah.
It's but you know, creative license, they do the same thing in Twister pretty much.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Yeah. Strong glass, tornado glass,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
I guess so.
Yeah, I have no problem suspending my disbelief for stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want more cows flying around and people getting impaled. That's
And love triangles. Love triangles.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
triangles.
I will say I like this director's previous film, Minari, a lot. I actually rewatched it this morning. If you guys haven't seen that, I'd recommend
I
it.
haven't.
It got a bunch of Oscar nominations. It came out in 2020. So it's like a pandemic movie. But yeah, Minari is a beautiful movie. It's about like this Korean family in the 80s moving to Arkansas and just trying
That's
to
right.
start a farm. And it's a very quiet, slow, like slice of life kind of movie, but it's very charming and well done. And I prefer that to Twisters, but Twisters is definitely more of a thrill ride. And it is
Yeah.
kind of interesting that he went from something such a quiet film to such like a big, loud blockbuster like this.
Yeah.
But he had the Midwest connection.
Yep.
So I don't know. It kind of worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So, Kim, overall, what do you think of this movie compared to Twister, your favorite movie of all time? Do you feel like it lived up to the hype?
Yeah, it was everything I hoped it would be. You know, they paid honor to the first one, but not too much. It was kind of linked, but not really. You know, taking modern special effects. I think they, you know, definitely captured the because you know the best part about the first one, other than tornadoes, is the fun cast. Is just this kind of this group of actors together that you know you normally wouldn't see together necessarily. And I thought they did that beautifully. And it was just a fun ride. You know, it wasn't too hokey. It wasn't, you know, the special effects were awesome. It was just fun. And I think it was exactly what it needed to be and exactly what I wanted it to be. Like I was not disappointed. You know, I just thought it was your typical, you know, summer blockbuster, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't too heavy on all of that. It wasn't like too special effectsy or too action. I thought they balanced it well, especially coming off of a really iconic movie that was made a long time ago. So, you know, to have a sequel kind of come out this late in the game, I think can be tough. And I thought they did it well.
Yeah, I would say it exceeded my expectations. I was expecting it to be a little bit more, I don't know, heavy-handed in its connection to the original Twister, but they did it subtly enough where for people who know the movie, they're like, oh, they're pointing that out.
Yes.
But for people who've never seen the first one, you can go in no problems, like not required to see the first one.
Yeah.
I am going to see it again.
Oh.
Next weekend, I'm driving to Indiana with my friends to go to a drive-in and watch Twisters at midnight. So I'm very excited for that.
The Midnight Drive-In.
Now that you're saying that, I am inspired because we go to a drive-in every summer and we haven't been yet. And you know they're going to do Twisters as the double feature. And I feel like that has to happen.
What did the fam think? Did the kids like it? Did Rich like it?
He did. It was funny because Rich and I were kind of like at opposite ends of the kids. And so during all the trademark, if you feel it, we had like a
Yeah, look over.
funny and with the kids too, because they've been doing it too.
Yeah, Zach, just so you know, when we were at McGregor Bay together, I just kept saying, if you feel it.
And my kids started doing it. Yes, yes. But yeah, I mean, they were very kind of, I don't know, Ophelia's right here. Oh, what was your Twister takeaway? She says it was good. She liked the special effects and stuff.
Nice.
That's what we got. It was very similar to their reaction to the first one. I think they liked this one more because I was so pumped to show them the first one, which was such a part of my child. And they were like,
yep.
Yeah, last time they said the effects held up.
Yeah.
That was your comment on the podcast from them.
Yeah.
And now
they
the
were
effects
like,
are good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I don't think my love of weather has passed to any of my children. If anything, even last night we had this epic storm. I was so excited, and they were like, ugh, they get totally freaked out about it. And Rich loved it. Rich felt the same way. He, exactly, same. He was like super fun, enjoyable, had moments, you could laugh at. But no, we had a blast. And I think Oscar was definitely like, too loud, too, blah. And the girls were, typical almost 13-year-old. They were like,
so you could say they weren't blown away or sucked away by it.
I don't think they were blown away. I don't think they felt it per se, but they enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. I think they probably more enjoyed me watching it than actually watching it because I was like a kid in a candy store. Yeah, no, 100%.
I'm curious to hear about the McGregor Bay trip. I don't know if it's too late to get into it, but
man,
you guys were up there together.
We're obsessed. It was amazing. Yeah, we first time there, which I wish, in retrospect, we had done this many years ago. I probably haven't seen, you talk about a kid in a candy store. My husband, I have not seen him that happy. Like he was loving every second of it.
Richard Boulton was created for McGregor Bay.
He was.
Zach, I don't know if I told you this, but he fixed the chimney. He changed out a board on the dock. He installed a motor onto the fishing boat.
Rich would live there full time if he could.
Yeah, my dad will be happy to hear someone handy was around to
do
some fixing up because he's always trying to take on those projects and gets overwhelmed by them.
Yeah, it's a lot. And no, Rich was more than happy to pitch in there. So yeah, highlight of the summer.
I'm glad to hear it.
But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if I have anything, Twister wise to say. I love your drive-in idea. I'm so doing that. But yeah, fun summer blockbuster.
I wish I was blown away by it, but I wasn't as blown away as I would have liked to be. I don't know. I was really excited because the trailer for this movie is really good, and every time I kept seeing the trailer in front of other movies I'd go see, I was pretty amped up for this movie. So maybe my expectations were too high, but. I don't know. I just feel like it's a great cast. It had a great setup for its premise. And, I just feel like I just lost interest near the end. It just didn't hold my interest over time as much as I would like. But
it's okay.
Maybe I'd feel different on a revisit,
I mean, we haven't had a good disaster movie in a while, I feel like. So
yeah, I mean, it's a tough genre to do well. But it did make me feel nostalgic for Twister. Watching this made me appreciate all the little things in Twister. It made me appreciate how that movie handled it, and just the light, fun campiness and goofiness of that movie. It was a very special kind of mixture that movie had.
Yeah,
so,
it is
definitely.
Not a lot like it.
Yeah, and this movie feels like it was trying to be a little bit more serious. It was like I was trying to show the devastation of tornadoes and communities a little bit more. Trying to be a little bit more grounded, and
they're hard to compare though because there's such a time gap in between the two. I think they each offer their own specialness. You know,
Mhm.
there's
Yeah,
things
yeah.
about the first one that will never be captured again.
Mhm.
And there's things the second one was able to do that could not be done in 96. So, you know, they're each their own beautiful thing.
Yeah. It's kind of nice that they had a long, big gap in between them
Uh-huh.
because, they definitely each have their own identity
Yes.
based in their own, very much of their time period.
Yes.
So it's
for
kind of
sure.
nice to have those contrasts.
For sure.
But
Yes.
But yeah, in the first one, other than the prologue Twister, there isn't a tornado until about a half an hour into Twister.
Mhm.
It takes a while for you actually to see the tornado. This one is just like these angry, huge tornadoes just coming at you from the very minute one, and they really do not waste too much time.
Yeah, that's true. It's like every 20 minutes there's like another tornado scene. So
Yeah.
maybe in terms of pacing there, giving you more tornado action, this movie has it beat.
I appreciated that. I did
But
appreciate
I like obviously I like the cast, and I think I like the writing a little bit more in Twister. I feel like it's a little bit richer with the relationships and the fun characters. Like, I know you liked the cast in this, Zach, but that to me that was kind of the weak point of it. I didn't feel as attached to like the Band of Merry Men. I thought they were just kind of ancillary to the story. They were really trying to, develop the relationship between Kate and Tyler, which I thought was good, but they're no Hunt and Paxton. I'll say that.
No, never will be.
But in
Never
terms
will
of
be.
like a disaster movie, like the tornado element of it, I thought Twisters does it a little better. But again,
Yeah. Hunt and Paxton kiss on screen, right?
Oh yeah, at the end.
They get a good kiss.
Oh yeah, they get a great kiss. I know. I feel like they were like afraid. Like I feel like they didn't know where to put it in. Because if it was at the very end, it would have just been like, oh, of course, because this is when they did it in Twister. And then before that, like I feel like they just were like didn't know where to put it, so they just didn't do it. They just didn't.
Well, they should have thought harder.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, it was a weak ending where they just roller bag off frame. It's like, what?
Okay. Yeah.
And also
end.
like showing the footage during the credits was like not that good. It was like it's like if you're gonna show stuff during the credits, I actually have it be good.
Yeah, it was like outtakes. But we do get the little reveal that they did write the article about her and not him.
Yes.
So mixed feelings on Twister.
Mostly positive. I still liked it. I just like, I saw the potential for it to be really great.
Yeah.
I thought, it could have been really great for me, but there's just some choices I didn't agree with.
Yep.
Not enough love triangle. Not enough murder.
Not enough
Not
murder.
enough. Yeah, not gruesome. Yep, fair enough. Fair enough.
Though one other thing that I really loved was when she's like, "Did you find the dog?" And he's like, "Of course I found the dog."
Yes.
Why couldn't they show us him finding the dog too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's the dog there. Yeah, there's the dog rescue in the first one. Where she
Get that on camera.
And the dog that's in the movie is actually Glen Powell's dog.
I'll
leave you with that.
Love it.
Well, Kim, thank you so much for joining us again on Film with Family to talk Twister again. My Twister sister.
Yes, always a pleasure. And any sequels, you slate me in always.
Yeah, there's a Twisters 3.
Or any weather-related film. We'll probably call you up.
Love it.
Absolutely.
I do love it.
We want to thank our listeners for listening to this episode. You can find us on social media at Film with Family on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And
if you'd like to let us know which Twister or Twisters you like more, email us at filmwithfamilypodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, or leave us a comment if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
And yes, you can also find us on Patreon, where we do bonus episodes every month for $1.99. And right now we're in the middle of our animal series. Coming up next is Watership Down and Plague Dogs with Troy and Sean and Zach and Austin
Zach and me. And we love the movies.
And we love our family.
Thanks again, Kim.
Thank you, guys. Always a pleasure.
If you feel it.
Face it.